and a deal that involved the Clippers acquiring Rajon Rondo from the Atlanta Hawks for Lou Williams and 2 second-round picks. Now, LA gets a floor general while Atlanta gets more scoring depth. And JWill, the professor, what do you see Rondo providing the Clips on their quest to the franchise's first ever championship?
You see, MT, this team is now getting El Capitan. They're getting a leader. They're getting somebody who is willing to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, you get over here, you do what I need you to do. Kawhi Leonard is not that guy. Paul George is a scorer, but he's different than Rajon Rondo. Now, exclude this year. I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about playoff Rondo, okay? Got to average 6.6 assists per game. 6.6 assists per game. I said it. I still butchered it. Here we go. On the screen coming up. Once again, look how he comes off the screen here. As he comes off the screen, look at the read he makes. Simple reads. What are you doing here? He's going to attack this gap. As he attacks this gap here, look how the defense all rotates over. Defense is coming over. Here we go. Defenders coming over. Coming over. He's seeing everything, right? Rondo, always seeing the floor. This is what you love about him. Just scouring. As he's coming, he's seeing here. What are you doing? What are you doing, Jokic? He sees over here in the corner. He also sees behind him that Danny Green can slide into this gap, making the simple plays as he draws the defense, seeing the court, boom, kick out pass, bald eagle there, ready to knock it down, knocks down the shot, okay? Little simple plays like that are what makes him special. Basketball IQ. Once again, as he comes off this high pick and roll, spacing, timing is everything. AD sets a screen. All right, as he sets a screen, the person to pay attention to here is Paul Millsap. Watch how Paul Millsap here just keeps going back, keeps going back, keeps going back. You know why? Because when he comes off this screen, he's pushing him. He's pushing him. Watch how he creates space. Keeps going at him, keeps going at him, keeps going at him. Now as he goes at him, I missed it, darn it, you'll see it. As he goes at him, he gets into the gap here. Look at all the defenders he draws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Look at some of the gaps these guys have. You have Dwight Howard can slip behind the defense. Danny Green can slip up here. You have a little kick to the corner. Look at the vision here. He's reading everybody. What are you doing, Jamal Murray? Have a kick out here to KCP. Can I see here to Dwight Howard slipping behind Jokic, who's not paying attention? Michael Porter Jr., he's not paying attention to his man. Can Danny Green slip up here for a 3? Or have a simple gap pass right here to AD. Now, come on. Get out there, Paul Millsap. Get out. Those are the simple plays, though. That basketball IQ, making the game easier for everybody. That's what the Clippers were missing. How about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George lead this team in assists? Nobody else on the team is averaging 3 assists or more.
All right, you're in your playing shape, you're in your touchscreen shape, but you are not a Rondo expert. The person that is on this show so happens to be Paul Pierce. You played with him. You understand his leadership style. How do you think he'll fit in with the Clippers?
Well, I like what JWill said about drawing a line in the sand. And the things we questioned about the Clippers last year is they lack leadership. That's something that Rondo is going to be able to bring to the team because, of course, he did graduate from the Pierce and Garnett Leadership Academy. And now I think this is the one thing that the Clippers were missing. And one can argue that he was the 3rd most important player on the Lakers championship run last year. I didn't say best, but most important player. And I think he can provide that for the Clippers because now they have a leader, they have a champion, and a guy, he raises their IQ, and a guy who knows what it takes when it gets there to get in guys' face when they're down or when they're up 15 points to close out a team, when they're up 3-1 to close out a team. That's what he's going to provide, and that's what I thought the Clippers were missing last year.
Rondo, terrific basketball IQ, great in pick and roll. But the one thing you and Jay didn't mention that the Clippers are going to actually need from the point guard spot is scoring. They're last in the league as it relates to their point guard starting and scoring points. So what does that mean? They're in the West. You got Book and CP. You got Donovan Mitchell. You got Dame Dollar. You got guys that's going to get you buckets, Spider Mitchell. And so it's going to be interesting to see if the last couple of minutes, Kawhi loves to operate mid-range in the 3-point stance. I don't know if Rondo's going to be able to have him cutting and moving and stuff like that in their first year. So I'm excited that he gets a chance to run with them, but he's definitely going to need to score some points and hit some open shots.
I think what you prove with your touchscreen, though, is that, playoff Rondo situation is that he's the floor general they need. Do you believe he can bring the scoring that Jay Rose is mentioning, a load that he really didn't have to carry as much with the Lakers?
I mean, he started to make shots for the Lakers off kickoffs and things of that sort. I think he has to be serviceable. But when I watch him play, nobody makes the game easy. Right? Like Paul George and Kawhi are getting points out of their system or when they're isolated. It's not like somebody's just in transition, a hockey assist. Those little pass the ball ahead, make the simple play. I think that's an additive dimension to their team. I don't know if he's enough to get them over the hump, though.
Okay.
That's another question.
Yeah, that's another question, especially if you got LeBron coming back and AD coming back and you're having to face the Lakers in a Western Conference Finals.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.